Hi everyone, it's Isabella here and welcome back to the channel. Today's video, we are going to be talking about TikTok, unethical content creators, alleged scams, and so much more. I talk about problematic companies, individuals, scams, just anything that could honestly put anyone in a bad position, we're talking about, right? And so I want to discuss TikTok content creators, specifically the beauty ones, and some of the misinformation out there. Now, if you guys don't know as well, I cover the FTC, which is the Federal Trade Commission, which covers many things, right? We've talked about the FTC in regard to MLMs, pyramid schemes, but if you don't know, the FTC actually covers people like me, content creators, and there are things that we have to follow and abide by when it comes to how we promote products and brand deals. Now, I just want to say I partner with many companies and I absolutely love it. Brand deals are a really great part of income for content creators, and there's a really ethical way that you can do it. But on the flip side, there are people that, yes, do things unethically and yes, violate FTC guidelines. And what we're going to do is we're going to talk about examples of that, why this is an issue. We're going to talk about the FTC's guidelines for people like me and why this is a problem and why we should care about this. So before we hop into today's video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell button down below. My merch, vlog channel, and podcast are in the description below as well. And now without further ado, let's get into it. Hi everyone, let's talk about falling for scams. So as you guys know, I'm a huge advocate for talking about consumer awareness, preventing you from falling for scams, and so much more. However, many people have no idea that falling for scams is ridiculously easy. It can happen to the best of us. Scammers take advantage of security gaps many antiviruses can't help with. And that's why a dedicated solution is so crucial, which is why I wanted to partner up with Guardio. If you guys don't know, Guardio develops solutions to help combat new threats and create a highly secure environment. Guardio is a browser extension and mobile app that protects users as they browse online and offer identity monitoring available on any device. Blocks phishing attempts, no matter the source, malware, abusive notifications, and will alert you on new data leaks. So again, for example, sometimes things slip through your spam email, and I've had this happen before, and immediately I get a notification of, hey, don't click on that link, girl boss, don't touch it. I'm very thankful for that because some people will just accidentally click and you could fall into something really bad. So Guardio wanted to offer an exclusive 20% off discount for all of my viewers today. You can scan your browser for threats for free by visiting /guard.io/Isabella and installing the extension, and you'll get a 7-day free trial to the premium features such as real-time threat removal. Thank you so much to Guardio for partnering with me on today's video, and now let's get into it. So starting off strong, when it comes to ads and brand deals, let's give a little bit of a disclaimer on how that works. So for me, for example, when I'm partnering with a company, I have to create content and it has to follow guidelines according to the FTC and also guidelines that the brand actually gives to me. So let's say when I'm partnering with a brand, which I'm actually partnering with a really cool company in this video, how this works is I have to submit this content to the brand. And so the brand has to review and approve it as well. Now, both myself and the brand have obligation to follow according to the FTC guidelines. And if either one of us is purposely not doing that and ignoring it, then that's a huge issue. So the approval process is, I think, pretty specific. And so if it goes past me, for example, and I don't follow FTC guidelines, and it goes past the brand, then both people are essentially screwing off. Now, what I'm going to tell you right now, a bit of a misconception is it's quote unquote hard to follow FTC guidelines. I'm going to tell you right now, it is not, okay? It is very, very easy. And for me also, especially if this is my job, people should know, right? So if someone has a job and is wanting to create this into a job, they need to know how to handle FTC guidelines and how to make this appropriate. Because the goal of disclaimers, being honest, sponsorships, and talking about it is for consumer transparency. Because you guys should have every right to know and understand that if I'm talking about a product, you should know if I'm getting paid to talk about it, right? And I have no problem with someone knowing if I'm getting paid to talk about it because it gives them more of an opportunity to fully decide if they want to purchase from a content creator. Now, again, I hope that everyone trusts me and knows that I truly am recommending things because I think it would help somebody else out or just be good for them, etc. But again, not everyone has ethics and goodness in their heart and in their motivations, correct? And so with that, people across all platforms deserve to know when someone's getting paid to talk about it. And if they're not making that clear, then that is an issue. So we're going to talk about some major faces in the beauty community right now. And we're going to discuss how there are some people promoting some complete bullshit and examples, I think, of people not properly disclaiming things to you. So we're getting into a very broad example, but someone that we honestly, many of us know, Michaela. Now, the one that has the accent that says Kim Kardashian, like that I'm sorry. I couldn't resist, okay? Anyways, let's talk about her and a couple examples that she's displayed, in my opinion, when it comes to not properly disclosing and advertising ads. Again, like I said, not every ad and sponsorship is bad and you can do it ethically, but when you literally don't give a shit and don't actually make it really clear that you're getting paid, yeah, that's a problem. So an example of this is, in my opinion, the Lashgate situation. Now, if you guys do or don't know, I actually did cover this on my channel, and it is an important topic, okay? I don't want anyone brushing this off as not significant. We're getting into why. But Michaela essentially was promoting a mascara called the Telescopic Mascara, and she pretty much was showing how, look how incredible it made my lashes look. So she was filming a video, and many people were filming ads about this mascara, so there was a whole campaign going on from what I could see. The problem is she was talking about how good the mascara was, but the mascara's advertising was, in my opinion, bullshit, okay? Because what I could see, as someone who's used lashes and natural and ones that don't look natural at all, when you put on lashes, you can tell, okay? And I put on mascara after I put false lashes on. So it was, to me, very obvious that she put on lashes to say, look at how good this mascara is. What's the problem with that? That's false advertising. Now, some of you guys are like, who cares? Who gives a shit? It's really not that deep. It is that deep because, one, if we allow content creators and just people in general to falsely advertise and not be real and honest, we're enabling people to take it a step further and do it more. Additionally, another problem that I think with that is for me, for example, I can go out and buy a mascara. If I don't like it, one, I can return it, but two, if I end up forgetting to return it, it's not gonna hurt me financially, okay? The average everyday person doesn't have around and find out money is what I like to call it. And that fuck around and find out means is if a product they purchase doesn't actually work or it doesn't go according to how it was advertised, that's not fun for them. And they have to go and return it, which is a hassle. Or if they forget to, they're wasting money, right? And it's just ridiculous. Or some people purchase from places where they can't return things. You see what I'm saying? So when we enable content creators to do that and they're making a shit ton of money, which I know damn well Michaela is off of ads, then girl boss, we need to be making it clear to people. And also I think in general, it's just highly disrespectful to people that love and support you, okay? Let's be real here. It's not like she can have an insanely big wedding without the people that follow and support her. And speaking of the wedding, let's get into that. So I briefly saw through the grapevine that Michaela was getting married, which again, congratulations. Whatever's happening in your personal life, that's none of my business. However, I did see with the wedding, there was a lot of things that were branded, okay? And by branded, I mean brands, allegedly, were putting their products and things inside of the wedding. Now, the problem is there was tons of people that were posting, sharing, and it appears and alleged to me that it was all gifted and given to her. Now, here's the deal. There's nothing wrong with that, right? If you literally get gifts and things like that from a brand for your wedding, that's cool. Good for you. I really don't care. Here's the problem. Disclose it. You have to be honest and say, this is what's happening. They're gifting this to me. I'm an affiliate with them. I'm getting paid to have this in my wedding. Whatever it is, you just need to say it, period. Okay? Again, if I have something that's gifted to me by a brand and I'm showing it to y'all, I need to tell you guys that. Okay? That's just, it's part of protocol. And so that was another thing that rubbed me wrong is it's okay, we have a shit ton of content creators attending this wedding and are going to post about it, right? We are also having Michaela that posts about it as well, other things, etc. You need to disclose if you have partnerships or gifted things for your wedding. You just need to, okay? This is part of the job, and peace and love with the benefits that I know I get from this job and many others do from this job. It is the bare minimum for you to disclose. It does not take that much effort. If you think it does, don't fucking do this for a living. That's just all I'm gonna say. Now, another example of this that I want to kind of throw out there, and this one actually really surprised me, was Nikki Tutorials and Jaclyn Hill. Okay, so some of us know the OG content creators in the beauty community, a lot of them were things like, yeah, Jaclyn Hill, Nikki Tutorials, and so much more. Now, I actually made a video recently about Jaclyn Hill shutting down brands if you guys want to check that out, because that was a nightmare in itself, and that is a whole can of beans we can open up at another time, or whatever you want to call it. Jaclyn, in my opinion, is an unethical creator, but Nikki Tutorials actually kind of surprised me. So what I kind of noticed between Jaclyn and Nikki was there were some moments where there were posts, and I will show some of these here popping up, of them talking about products, which again, that's what they do for a living. I get that. The problem is some of the ways of promoting the products were very hidden. You know what I mean? It was not obviously made. And that's actually a guideline that they say when it comes to partnering with a brand is, hey, you got to properly really make it obvious, right? And I think it's really important to make it obvious and make it aware. Now, at some point, if some people are like, hey, I don't think you're making it obvious enough, I think you need to acknowledge that and make it even more obvious, right? You need to do something. I think it's really important. And so with that though, Nikki Tutorials was talking about some products apparently, and that was another thing where it looked like you you had to look for the disclaimer, okay? You had to hunt for it. And that's a big no-no as well. If you have to really hunt for information, disclaimers, etc., that is a big issue. That just is, okay? I don't like that. I think that's a big problem. And to me, it's not hard to do what you have to do to properly disclose and get that out there that you are working with a company. Now, another example of this as well was Jaclyn Hill. So this is also something I thought that was super duper odd, was she promotes a lot of products and talks about them, and in my opinion is a walking billboard essentially as a creator, which has just been taken too far. However, there was a couple of videos that would pop up where she would be like having kind of almost an over exaggerated reaction to a product in a way where like it made no sense. Like, I'm sorry, I get I'd be shocked if like a green primer I worked on like my skin, if it was red inflamed, that makes sense, you know, color wheel, green cancels the red, that's fine. But when you're like, holy shit, like you're losing your mind unrealistically, and then also when you don't disclose like, hi, I have this in my Amazon storefront, you know what I mean? Like, hi, my Amazon storefront is like, I make money through that, you know, that's just weird, you know what I'm saying? So people were actually calling her out, and the problem is there's some content creators who get like pissy about this and be like, it's really not that big of a deal, it's not that big of a deal, it's not that big of a deal. No, it is. One, it's your job, bare minimum. Two, there's literally a cute document that the FTC has made to make sure you're following guidelines. And three, my thing is if you are working with a brand, or if you're working with anyone in anything, right? And if they're fighting against you being clear with FTC guidelines, don't partner with them. There actually is a brand that I'm very bummed out about. Love their products, just saying I love their products, but I'm not working with them anymore because they were fighting me. They were genuinely fighting me to not disclose that this was an ad. Now I said, I think the not. They were really annoyed by that. I really didn't give a shit because I'm not doing that. And that's not who I am. I don't care. I decide I'm not working with them ever again. I still like their products. I noticed that was an issue. And so I said, okay, we're winding that down. That's the thing, is you as a content creator have that social responsibility to, when you see those problems, you need to cut it out. You need to be done with it. And you need to acknowledge the check is not worth it, because it's not. Misleading people and betraying people's trust that support you and love you is ridiculous. And I'm just very thoroughly upset with it. Now, another example that I want to talk about when it comes to, in my opinion, false advertising is the clickbaity reviews. All right. Now, I know some out of pocket things are interesting and fun, but one thing I will say is so insane to me is how people will purposely misuse products for attention and clicks. I don't understand how you can do that, especially if you're a beauty creator. What are you doing? Like, that's just such an issue in itself. And one example, in my opinion, one example of that I think is a creator by the name of Meredith. Now, here's the thing. She's gorgeous. She's funny. I think her content's fun. What I don't like is when you're partnering with a brand, when you're not just independently making the content and fucking with it, right? When you're partnering with a brand or working with them and talking about a product, and or even if you're just claiming to do a review and that review is, in my opinion, completely manipulated, where you're messing with the product, you're not properly using it, I think that's false advertising. I don't think that's appropriate. Because, for example, let's say if I have a foundation and I don't even use it how it's intended, I don't follow the instructions, and I fuck with it and say, it sucks, when I didn't even give it a chance to perform to begin with, and I have an audience, I feel like I'm straying people away from actually trying it and attempting. And I think that's also super unfair to a brand that has worked really, really hard on a product. And another example of this was actually, I believe it was this lip balm that I saw, and apparently just like smashing it on your lips, like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Like, it's such a problem. It's not working. Like, I'm so tired of I'm going to fuck with a product on purpose so that way I can have a shocking review. And again, if you want to independently just go ham and mess with it and go crazy with your makeup, that's one thing. Makeup is subjective. Have fun. That's okay. When you're claiming it's a review and you're completely butchering it on purpose and dogging a company just for attention like that, now that's an issue. Now, everyone's entitled to having a bad review on a product, absolutely. But when it's very blatantly obvious that you're doing it on purpose, from what I can see. Another thing I want to talk about is the outlandish, and I mean outlandish, use of filters in product reviews. So I've actually seen this pop up a ton when it comes to TikTok content creators. It happened on YouTube. Now, years ago, if you guys don't remember, back in the day, there would be some people who had perfect skin, even on their Instagram, like short videos where they would do makeup tutorials. I'm like, how the is their skin perfect? Problem is I noticed everyone's skin looked really similar. And you know how I found out what it is? Sony. So I didn't even know this, y'all. Hold up, scooch in. I gotta tell y'all. Sony. I bought a new camera for vlogging and I'm really excited. I'm gonna use it for like podcasting and vlogging and la la la. And when I got it, I was like, ew. And my skin didn't look normal. My skin looked weird, right? And I was like, that's what it was. People were using a filter that was built into the camera that would make your skin look perfect. Now, if you wanna do that regularly, I don't really give a shit, okay? Edit your photos, do whatever, that's fine. When you're doing it with makeup and reviewing and not letting the product stand as is and showing real skin, I believe that's false advertising. That's not properly saying, hi, this is actually what my skin looks like. This is how real skin looks like. I'm not using a filter. I'm showing how the product looks. What's an issue is when people go out and buy the product and they use it on them, they feel like something's wrong with them or something's wrong with the product, and they don't understand that skin's just supposed to look like skin. Not perfectly blurred, not perfect everything. Some people sometimes are born with just really good skin, and other people will get treatments done, you know? But either way, disclaimers, and more disclaimers is important. And additionally, if you're reviewing products on TikTok, for example, and using a beauty filter, as I've seen, that is a problem. And that was something that I actually saw, what I saw, for example, with Michaela and just many other creators. And I understand if people are struggling with insecurities, that again, as someone who struggled with insecurities, not feeling good about myself before, I understand that pain and struggle. However, that doesn't give you a right to manipulate a review or not be truly transparent with people on the internet when you are reviewing a product and not letting it stand alone. Like, that is actually why I have no problem getting on camera, even though I'm not reviewing a product, right? I have no problem getting on camera with no makeup. I got it on now, but you know, I have no problem doing that. Why? Because I want people to look at real skin. That's why I turn off the damn Sony filter as well, because I was like, I don't look even like me. I don't even look real. That's why I film a shit ton of my TikTok and Instagram with nothing on, because I want people to see reality. And that's the problem, is I think there's a level of reality that's getting distorted. And to me, it's false advertising. It's impacting people to purchase a product and essentially waste money on something that doesn't actually work for them, or they have a false perspective of. And that's ridiculous. That's not okay. I don't care if the product is $50. I don't care if it's even $2. That's still not right, period. Now, last but not least, to really wrap this up, I do want to talk about a couple things just to give proper disclaimers and just overall education for you guys, because genuinely, some people have no idea about this stuff. So I want to quickly say, a brand partnership and brand deal like that is when I am getting paid to talk about a product. Like this video, for example, I have been paid to talk about a brand. You have to give proper disclaimers, and I have been paid and reached out to by the brand to discuss, and we have a project together. A affiliate is where, for example, Amazon, right? If you have an affiliate, you have a link that someone can purchase through. I'm not like working directly with them and getting directly paid like that, but I get a commission if you purchase through the links. And then if I have something sent to me, then I just need to disclaim it, because sometimes they'll send me products and I just simply say, hi, this was sent to me by so-and-so, and I move on. You know what I mean? So that's kind of the difference. Now, just because someone talks about a product doesn't immediately mean that it's sponsored or an affiliate or whatever the case may be. Some people can just genuinely talk about a product because they like it. However, due to our world, as sad as that is, there are people who don't give a shit and do not properly disclose. And I think I get it. I understand why people are critical of content creators. I completely, like, again, as an influencer slash content creator, I don't judge y'all for being cautious. You should, because there are some messy, I literally cover problematic scams of people for a living. I get it. Like, there are people that are bad and don't have good intentions and mislead and will do it for a check. And that's really, really sad and dangerous. So another thing I want to mention as well is don't feel unempowered to call out if you think that if people are not properly disclosing. People should make it very obvious and blatant, and don't feel like a bad person or if you're asking too much. If a content creator is essentially gaslighting you and saying, no, it's like I just did hashtag ad. If it's not bold enough and you have to look for the hashtag ad, for example, that's a problem, you know? So that was it for today's video. I hope you guys are able to learn something, and I hope you're able to talk about some of the allegedly scammy and unethical content creators and the problems with some of these ads, for crying out loud. So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you beautiful people in the next video. Bye.